Hello there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on the morning work for Thursday, April 16th. So you will be on the page that shows morning work 9.1 up at the top. So we have some addition problems first. Now, guys, this is a little bit of an introduction to that traditional addition that I was telling you about, okay? So here's the thing about traditional addition, okay? You always want to add your ones place first, okay? You always add your ones place first because we know that if you have more than 9 ones, we need to make a trade, right? Now, none of these have us needing to make a trade, so I want to tell you that right off the bat. So this is just a beginning. This is kind of the early stages of that traditional addition. So what we're going to do is we'll do maybe 2 or 3 together, and then I'll have you do the rest of these ones on your own, okay? So if I have 15 plus 4, now I could think of this as a math fact and either use my number grid or my number line and come up with the answer. But what I can also do is I can think of my tens place and think of my ones place. Well, I add my ones place first. What is 5 plus 4? Well, I know from my math facts that 5 plus 4 is 9. So I have 9 ones. Now I have 110 here, but I don't have anything there. I can imagine that that's like a 0, okay? You don't have to write that in there, but you imagine it's a 0. So I have 110 and no more 10s. So when I come down bottom, I still just have 110, okay? So let's think of it right here. Tens and ones. Remember, we're adding our ones place first. Okay, I have 3 ones and 2 ones. So I think of what is 3 plus 2, and I know that that's 5. I have 110 here, but I have nothing here, so I'm kind of imagining that that's a 0, okay? 1 plus 0, or just 110, I bring that 110 down, and that gives me 13 plus 2 is 15. So why don't you give the other 4 a try on your own, okay? And we'll see how that works, okay? Here they want to skip counting by tens. So we have 40. If we're counting by tens, think about what would come next. 60, blank, blank. Now here we're counting back by tens. I want you to maybe even underline that, back. So we're starting at 50 and we need to count backwards. So I know you guys know you're counting by tens really well, so I'm gonna let you do that one on your own. We got a story problem. Maggie wants to buy candy for her friends. She has 14 girlfriends and 5 boyfriends. How many pieces of candy does Maggie need to buy? Well, let's think of a number model for that. She's got 14 and 5, okay? And she wants to buy candy for all of them. Well, I need to know how many that is all together. And if I'm thinking about it all together, that tells me that I need to do what? I need to add. So we're going to take her friends that are girls, and then we're going to add her friends that are boys. And we need to know how many that is altogether. So you guys can go ahead and solve that. Okay? So down here, ooh, okay. These are a little bit tricky. Okay. So we have to write the letters that are missing from the words. And then up here, we need to cross those letters off as we use them. Then we'll have some letters left over, and then we need to unscramble those letters to make a word. Okay, so we need to use the pictures to help us. Okay, so right here we have some words that show us some bubbles. Okay, so you need to think, how am I going to spell bubble? As in up. So I need a U, b. And actually, bubble has 2 B's. So what I need to do is over here, I need to cross off 2 B's and 1 of the U's. Okay? So then you want to think of what the word is here, okay? Now, then I would do this one and this one because they don't give us any picture clues for these two, okay? So do these ones, see what letters you have left and what might make sense there, okay? And then any letters you have left over. You know what? You might just want to wait. Let me figure that one out and then we'll do it together because I haven't done that one And because they don't give us pictures here, that makes things a little bit trickier, okay? So you can give it a try, or if you want to just wait till we do it together, you can, okay? Down here, what will you do this summer, asked Billy. So I'm gonna look, and we have bubbles of middle to summer with a period, blow, fun, in, it's, the. Well, to find the first word of my sentence, what do I need to look for? I need to look for a capital letter. The only word here that has a capital letter is the word it's. And that's that contraction that stands for it is. So I'm going to write it's. Okay. Now, when I look, I know that my last word is going to be summer. And how do I know that? Well, that's the one that has the period at the end. So go ahead, try to figure this out. If you want to leave this middle part blank, you can do that, because I'm going to go ahead and figure it out myself, and then we'll go over it together when you guys are done. So go ahead, pause your video now to do your work, and when we come back, we'll go over those answers. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go over the rest of our answers. So up here for our addition, I wrote my tens place and my ones place for each one, just to help me remember. So 18 plus 1 is 19, 22 plus 5 is 27, 20 plus 7 is 27, my lucky numbers, and 16 plus 3 is 19, okay? When we skip count by tens, we had 40, so I know next comes 50. Then they gave us 60, 70, 80. My tens place is going up by 1 each time. When I count back by tens, my tens place is going down by 1 each time. So I had 50, 40, 30. They gave us 20, and then I had 10. Now, we did a number model for our story problem. Maggie wants to buy candy for her friends. She has 14 girlfriends and 5 boyfriends. How many pieces of candy does she need to buy? We knew that we were adding because she was putting together all her friends, and it comes out to a total of 19 pieces of candy. Abraham, no. Okay, this one was a tricky one. So down here we had some words, and we needed to fill in the missing letters using letters up there and then cross those letters off. So we knew that this one was bubble. Okay, so we added UBB and crossed those off. This one they gave us a picture was rabbit, so we added ABB, crossed those off. Now, they didn't give us pictures for these two, so I actually left those two for last. So I did down here, and I added PER for pepper, okay, because I see that in the picture. And then I added PAR for parrot, and then I marked off all those letters up there. So then I looked at what I had left, and I saw a lot of L's, and I saw some E's. So I thought about, well, what do I know that begins with a J and ends with a Y? And I knew that jelly did that. So I added ELL, and then I crossed those off. And then I said mid. Well, I had a D and then another L and another E, so I added that to make middle. When I crossed off all of those, these are the letters that I was left with. I had a B-O-N-T-T and a U. And I said, well, what can I put those letters together to make? And I figured, well, if I move the T and the U and the N around a little bit, I can make the word button. So that one was kind of tricky, especially because they didn't give us pictures here. So again, if you want to just go ahead and, if you didn't do that and left it blank, you can go ahead and just fill that out right now. And then down here, we had what will you do this summer, asked Billy. And then we knew that it's was the first word because it was the only one that had a capital letter. And so we came up with it's fun to blow bubbles in the middle of summer. Okay, so there are your answers for your morning work for Thursday, April 16th. Good job, everybody, and we'll be back to do some more in a little bit.